I'm going to restart the stream. We probably have some internet lag. It just seems kind of random as to when or not it will strike. No real rhyme or reason to it. All right. Let's try that. We'll try again here. Usually when I restart the stream, it goes away. All right, let's get started. World loser. We have tried different stuff against him. Let's play G6. Modern defense. Against D4 guys who aren't willing to play E4, I think the modern defense is particularly effective. In general, I'll go for the Gingy Indian if I get the opportunity to do so. He declines it. This is a typical reaction. The most aggressive thing he can do is play the Mamedyarov system, which is basically the Benoni a tempo down for white. But I think you have to pretty good. You have to have a pretty good handle on what you're doing. In general, B5 is not really possible here, so I guess E6 or D6. That's it. Yeah, H3, but it's not. That can be dangerous here, H3, because it's not a real Benko. You know, you might not have time for H3. Benko, I mean Benoni. All right, he's gonna play without E4. He's just making random moves. I don't like knight takes D5. Okay, it looks lame for white. This actually looks pretty lame. He played a similar structure against me in another game not long ago, but now white's fighting for a draw basically here. H3 was a costly move in terms of time. He's already a tempo down. Okay, he didn't play E4. But my bishop, this is like an Ilya Smirin bishop. The black side of the Grunfeld or something. These guys are terrorists, like very, very powerful bishops. I mean, it's absolutely impossible for white to like move the queen side, you know, anything. There's two bishops on the long diagonals. It's sniper bishops. So knight A5 is possible, going off center. Playing for B5 would make sense, and then of course I can play D5. Queen B6, rook E8, bishop F8. I'm just like kind of mentally reviewing all my candidate moves here. It looks good now, the stream. He's going to castle, play rook FD1, maybe rook B1, something like that. Try to put pressure on my D6 pawn. I don't know. This should be very good for black, but I can't just do nothing because slowly he'll consolidate his position. So we have to stay active, create some threats. I like the idea of B5, but we are going to have to follow up fairly quick because of rook D1. All right. I mean, maybe I just play D5. The ending looks pretty good for black too. I don't know. If I had more time, I'm sure I would play this position differently. Bishop takes, or maybe queen takes. I don't know. Kind of a tough call. He is fast. We'll give him that. He can play well too, but just lately I started to play many games with the World Loser, and he has a tendency just playing too quickly, which seems to be contagious. Everyone's doing it. Permanent surveillance on these two diagonals. It's not pleasant in my experience. Okay, we have 5+3 guys. Fast Friday only this time control. Just a fun day. We're playing only blitz. 3 seconds allows me to commentate the games, so I appreciate that. Otherwise, it would just be very little talk and only action. Much more fun with talk and action. I feel white's pain here. It's not easy. I was thinking like bishop e4, but it doesn't really do anything. I can just play rook b8. Maybe he could have tried knight g5 there. Actually, World Loser the other day had an ending against me with bishop and knight versus bishop and bishop. In other words, bishop and knight versus the bishop pair. Okay, I don't have to take the bishop on c1 right away. We can try to kind of squeeze him a little bit. See if he makes a mistake. I don't want knight coming to g5 to bother this anchor steam beer. We can take on my terms on c1 or wherever he wants to put it. Basically, let's get the file, huh? How about open files? Maybe the other rook deserves consideration. It doesn't really matter. Famous last words. Alright, well, whenever you're going to do that, I'm going to take. Try to centralize the king for the ending. Make sure all my pawns are secured. It's a good technical position for black. Queenside majority, bishop pair. Well, the file might be relevant too. Got a lot of small advantages here. Bishop pair, queenside majority, open file. Probably easier to centralize my king than his. Maybe he can get his king in the center, but accumulation of small advantages. Now what's up? At some point I'm going to have to do this anyway. So here comes the cavalry on the queen side. Try to create a passer, like a monster passed pawn. I mean, it's like uncomfortable for him, because even if he tries to bring his king in the center, I can play like bishop c4 check. His king is not really comfortable. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But it's like he's sort of paralyzed. I mean, there's no king e2. The king isn't great on e1, honestly. Yeah, that's the best he can do. Let's get my king in the game too. He can't even play rook d1 without dropping his queen side. A world loser is very good at finding moves in bad positions quickly, as we witnessed yesterday. Nimzovich didn't believe in the accumulation of small advantages. This move's interesting. Well, I think I'm going to have to play c4, looks like. I'm not sure when this strategic term was coined, you know. Accumulation of small advantages. It's a good question. Well, I mean, Nimzovich never said it in so many words. He had a different style. But I think that everybody in some, everybody in some respect has to use this sort of strategic concept. Now he's going there. Okay. Queenside majority is on the way, dude. This is a strategically winning position for black. Better king, 2 bishops. A pawn structure that works well with the 2 bishops. This imbalance with the pass pawn on the queen side. Control the open file. How do you know you're winning? Well, you start talking to yourself and counting how many advantages you have. And then you're like, I think I'm probably winning. Too many positional advantages here not to be winning. Let's see what the engine calls it. Minus 1.6. We'll say minus 1.6. Oh, this is ugly. Yeah, he's basically kind of in Zugzwang. All right, constant change, 5 plus 3. Constant change is tough. In Blitz, he's not as high as Classical. He's over 2,200 in Classical now. We have a kind of theoretical discussion going on in the Karo Khan. He's always playing the Classical variation, and I've been trying to practice this myself, so if I know somebody's going to play this line, I want to go into it and kind of work it out a little bit. Work on it a little bit. Now yesterday I played knight f6, but I think I like this move order better for black. Yesterday he played bishop d2 against knight f6, but it's a slightly different position. Now he played bishop f4 against bishop b4. So apparently this is a big move for black. That's okay, you know, nothing wrong with that. I made a bad move the other day. There was a guy who played c3 and I played queen b5. That's apparently not really viable. This is a very old line. I remember studying this when I was like 13 years old. Kasparov had a book on this line. Now what do? We just take. Constant Change played a weird game against me, where he put like his queen on h4. That's not good, dude. You can't do that, man. You're doing that again, but nobody puts the queen on h4, dude. That's definitely not the right square for it. It seems like it's out of the center. I'm probably not going to castle kingside in this scenario. No, I don't know. Bishop d6, castles queenside, bishop e7. Castles queenside, is that what I said? I hope that's what I said. I like castles queenside here. You got to watch out for tactics like this. It is not usual to put the queen on h4 constant change. He just likes moving instantly. Nevertheless, I guess it's playable, you know, and white's probably still about equal. He's kind of doing nothing, waiting for me to do something, which isn't a bad strategy here, I guess. Sometimes the king walks over here. I've got to be wary of bishop f4, though. Thinking about rook d5. Rook d5 could force him to play g4. But I'm not sure that that equates to a plan for black, really. Bishop e7. Bishop e7, knight d5, knight e5, excuse me. Rook f8 seems a little bit awkward for black. I don't like that. Rook d5, g4. Knight e4, I was thinking. Then my pieces end up in kind of strange positions. Then again, so do his. Like bishop e7, queen h3. Alright, let's try this. It's a move. I don't know, we're down to 2 minutes. Spinal Tap, I've never seen you put their queen on h4 before. Yeah, we're kind of getting into this line. But Constant Change has this strange queen positioning that I don't really know how to handle that. Spinal Tap Chess is an international master, and he's an expert in the Caro-Kann from what I heard. I've never actually witnessed the carnage he wreaks on the black side of the Caro-Kann, but I heard it from a reliable source. Probably much more knowledgeable than me. Uh-oh. Knight e5. Now we've got to be a little bit careful. I have c5 here. Double-edged move too. Oh man, that's an annoying move. 95. Okay, let's go for c5. We're going to be fearless. This makes sense, right? c5 and then bishop d6. Yeah. Definitely makes sense. If I play bishop d6 first, he has c4. So we play c5 and then bishop d6. Queen b6. No, we can't leave the f7 pawn. That's our weakest point in the position. All right. Yeah, constant change is very, very dangerous tactically. That's why I don't understand why he plays the what is it? The old Indian for black. He's Better off in wide open tactical positions. He can play good in open situations better. Play well. Play better. Weller. Okay, c3. It's kind of a transposition of moves here. Alright, time. Knight d7 maybe. Doesn't work. Maybe I need to play rook f8. Strange the concept as that is. I don't really like rook f8. I mean, it's very passive, basically. But I'm defending f7. What if I just take on d4? He's left with an isolated pawn here. I think he missed bishop takes h6. He's kind of scary, dude, with the piece coordination. Like, how coordinated all of his pieces are. It's kind of frightening. Oh, yeah. He's got me. Right, it was a forced win. Rook c1, no move for me. Yeah, this is like too strong, man. I mean, you're like a master. Coordination with the pieces. Easy win. There's no way he's 2070. That's ridiculous. He's way stronger than that whenever I play him. The only reason he's got only 14 points is because he's messed up countless positions and winning positions. Like, he's had crushing positions against me in like 10 of the games he should have won, but he didn't win for whatever reason. This looks totally lost. I guess we can try to survive a bit here. But it's basically down the exchange for nothing. This guy should be like 2300 in blitz, I would say. Why he's 2070, I don't understand. He's 2200 in classical. I guess that's about normal. Most people seem to be about 200 points higher. Except for me. Everybody except for me. Now 96. That's a good tactic too, huh? I mean, he seems to see everything very well tactically. No defense here. Just crushed me. Queen h4 is not a good move for white, despite what happened in this game. He's not playing correctly there in the opening. He did it once before, but if you look, it's just not good. I don't remember what I was supposed to do. I had computer problems. He has suspended. Oh, the computer. Alright, I'm just going to lose on time here. Impressive game, dude. I wouldn't want to play any rated games with constant change. 2070. He's more like 2400. Mule Skinner. All right. Let's play a little bit of knight f3. I don't see you, Willie. You don't see me. I don't see me either. What's going on here? My stream stopped. You can refresh the Twitch stream if it goes out on you. Actually, my stream stopped too, but we seem to be good. I mean, there's no drop frames now. Just down the exchange there last game. I don't see any reason to continue. Zero compensation for the exchange, and actually a pawn as well. The impressive thing about constant change is how fast he plays. In addition to playing very, very strong at times, he's extremely, extremely fast. And he has a score that's like half as much as it probably should be against me. Yeah, Spinal Tap is known as a thug. Plukro, the stream is fine. Thanks for coming, Plukro, and being our moderator. I had a message from our other moderator, our regular moderator, Jeroen. He's okay. He had some personal things I guess he had to tend to. He said he'll be back today or maybe Sunday, but I told him that there's no simul on Sunday because I'm going to be away in Szeged. Blaze of Glory, it's fine for you. Mule Skinner, it's like he seems so much slower than Constant Change. Constant Change can just move instantly. It's very unpleasant playing a player like that who moves instantaneously every single move. I had a tournament opponent do that recently, and it really fazed me. I mean, I had 2 winning moves against the guy, but I failed to find them because I was like in this incredible time pressure. It's very disheartening when the other guy just moves instantly using 0 time. You have to kind of try to put it out of your mind, but it's not so easy. Okay, Mule Skinner playing a line that I play with colors reversed here, but I don't know if black can afford to do that. I mean, maybe it's okay. I mean, it looks like bishop e7 is probably the standard response here, like the super solid. I guess there's nothing I can do to refute this outright. Knight b3. It just seems like this is a good variation that's more ambitious to not trade, by the way. And the same thing with colors reversed against this e3 system. More ambitious not to trade. I guess we go knight c3. We just put massive pressure on d5. Really should be good for white. I just assumed this should be good for white. I could trade bishop on c6, but well, it's still not too late to do that. Play for a structural advantage. I mean, I just assumed this is good. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but bishop takes c6, b takes c, knight d2, bishop a6. He holds on to everything, so I guess I can't do that. There is knight c5, which is kind of a funny move. That doesn't really do anything. So I guess I have to play knight d2, and then I'm wondering like what the heck I just did to myself. Maybe we overestimated this position. I don't know. I mean, with the bishop on g2, I just assumed I had some kind of great game, but after bishop takes d8, I can't play knight a5 after taking on c6. I think I'm having some kind of weird hallucinations, but still, knight c5 doesn't do anything. And now he's ahead on time. We'll have to sack a pawn. I mean, I guess there's no question about it. How to enlarge the chessboard while streaming? Not so easy to do. One thing I don't like about lichess is that the size of the board doesn't really seem adjustable. That would be better if they could make that capability, you know, within lichess to make the board bigger and smaller. I'm kind of having problems when I'm making videos for my YouTube channel. Speaking of which, video chess training on YouTube. Sometimes I've created some videos where I wasn't really happy the board wasn't quite big enough, and it is a sort of issue. I would suggest they make it more personalizable, the size of the board. I mean, there's lots of features that you can adjust, but you know, the pieces and the color and all that stuff, but simply the size of the board. Mule Skinner here freaking out with like knight to d5, but I'm having a hard time understanding why he can't just play knight a5. I mean, the most obvious move, directly protecting the pawn on c4, is the only thing that I was worried about. So he missed it. I don't know. You know, I mean, my intention was to play b3 and play this position as a long-term pawn sacrifice. You know, and I probably have some compensation, but I don't really think it's enough. You know, it may or may not be enough after knight a5. b4 or b3, but knight d5 looks like an overt mistake. Okay, maybe the knight takes out my knight on c3. He has some kind of counterplay with knight to d4. Not really, though. No, I think maybe we're getting too optimistic again. I don't think so. I mean, I think we're just left getting our pawn back, and he's got a kind of weakness, and maybe we're still a little bit better. Maybe this is okay for black, but I thought knight a5 was much more natural. Control plus bishop g2. Uh-oh. So there's knight d4 ideas. It's raining here again every single day. Alright, this knight d4 ideas may or may not do anything. Bishop g2. Or rook d1. Rook e1 allows knight d4 with the problem of him playing like knight c2. You know, it just occurred to me that I can take on c6, but we don't have too much time. That gives up the bishop pair. This is tough. Bishop g2 or rook d1. My instinct tells me this. I hope that instinct is right. Mule Skinner playing well. 1779. Everybody's about 200 points higher in classical. Except for me. What am I? I'm lower in classical. What is it, like you hit 2400 and there's like a wall or something? According to that, I should be 2600 in classical. But some people like Justice Bot are 2700. I don't understand that exactly. But it also takes longer to play classical games and build your rating up. So we would think it would, by default, be more difficult. Bishop takes c4, going a pawn up here. Gives us some initiative. This was my original plan. I don't know if it's best or not. But my pieces are fairly active. Then again, so are his. I would evaluate this as approximately equal. The other way, like he had rook c8 and knight c2 with compensation for a sacrificed pawn. So I think this has been a fairly good game, but black seems active enough that he should be fine here. Very, very interesting. Mule Skinner's score is also inexplicable. I mean, this guy has 4 points out of, what, 63 games? But how many times, like, he played me basically, you know, down to the wire. I mean, I don't even understand how he's possibly got this score. All right. Knight e4, bishop g4. I wasn't sure about that. It looks like his knight is trapped here. Well, it looked like his knight was trapped, but now he finds a resource. That's what I'm talking about. He's always got resources. Too cagey. What do you mean wrong rook? What's he talking about with the wrong rook comment? I don't even understand. Okay, my bishop is just hanging. Whoa. So he basically just lost a pawn. And now he's toast. Well, then another pawn. This is how he loses. Like, he has a good game and then, like, melts down at the end. It's the same thing every time. But there must be, like, 30 games where it was, like, equal for, like, 95% of the game, and he lost. Maybe he gets nervous with the time pressure. But a very capable player, Mule Skinner. We were just lucky here. I mean, I don't know what I did wrong in the opening. It seemed like I played totally natural moves, and suddenly I'm like down a pawn with no compensation, or very little. This is over. In technical situations, I'm pretty good. Alright. So what did we do wrong? D takes, C takes D, knight takes D4. And bishop C5 is the main line, so I was wrong about that. Actually, that is the main move. Knight B3 is best. Christensen Korchnoi, 1979. Huh. Larry was like a kid. Markowski versus Lembit-Ol. Lembit-Ol, 2 games with black. So what did you play? Bishop E7. Main line. And knight C3. Knight C3 has a good score. D takes C4. Queen takes D8 check. Here we are. And knight D2. And I thought I'm just like, wow, I thought I didn't even see knight E5. I thought I'm like struggling here, but the computer likes it. Knight E5 is better. And then I gambit a pawn. No, sorry, knight A5. Oh, the move I was talking about. Okay. So he is supposed to play that. But the computer says knight E5. And nobody played that move. That's amazing. Check it out. Like 12 games, 12 master games, everybody played knight A5. And the computer is like, no, knight E5. Not one person thought of that, including myself. There's some kind of optical illusion. Like you don't see that. So this was inferior. But I should take on C4 here. Looks like. Not obvious. All right. How did Miotz sneak in there? All right, Miotz, Morales, a million miles away. We'll try to get to as many games. I like to take a brief look at some of the games, guys, when we're playing or after the game. A big wall, Megash said, is 2200 in classical. I don't know. You know, it seems like there's a 200-point differential between blitz and classical until you get to over 22 or 2300, and then it's like really hard to gain points. C takes d4. There's not enough people with those ratings, you know what I mean? Like, who can I play that's like 2400? The dragon. Alright. I've been playing some really lame stuff against the dragon. Alright, let's play like we've got some cojones here. Now bishop e3, and I haven't played a Yugoslav attack with white on the stream, I don't think. But this was actually my repertoire back in the day. We spent some time on this with a friend, and but actually I was playing queen d2, wasn't I? Come to think of it, what did we decide on? Queen d2? I guess I was playing queen d2. I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't really want to play against the dragon now without really specifically preparing for a game. Of course, if you're going to play in open tournaments, multiple rounds in one day, like in the old days when I played in the US a lot, you know, you don't really know who you're going to play till like 5 minutes before the game starts. That's different from like playing round robin tournaments or some tournaments where it's one round a day and everybody knows who they're playing like before the game starts. If there's time to prepare, it's a big advantage. If I was playing a dragon player, I'd want to know about it. The dragon and the Najdorf and the Sveshnikov are like the three most theoretical lines. Knight d7. This is a very rare move. Looks like something Emery Tate would do, but I don't know. Never seen anyone play it in this position. It looks slow, you know. One would assume that you just do the normal thing here with h4. I mean, that's the standard plan in like the Maratsi, but this is not a Maratsi. This is a sharp line of the Yugoslav attack. Previously, I've played like the classical dragon with white here on the stream, a few games. But I can literally count on one hand how many people have played the dragon against me, which tells us something. It tells us that the dragon is not trendy. You can tell by what openings people are playing in blitz in online chess, you know. Basically, what's trendy and what's not trending, you know. And since I started streaming last year, I can literally count on one hand how many times people have played the dragon against me. It's probably like 5 games at the most. The Najdorf is extremely popular, but the dragon is not. Now, knight e5, this looks a bit weird. It looks like white has... It's like white has a kind of speedy attack. Okay, it's not so easy. I don't have like bishop h6 and trading off his bishop on g7. But I do have f4 at some point, you know, which is basically going to open up his king side by trading that bishop on. I feel like he's wasted a lot of time is what I'm trying to say. Knight d7, knight e5. It's looking pretty slow. Constant Change just saw the stream of our game. Well, I mean, I think queen h4 is weird, Constant Change. You did that against me once before. It's not supposed to be good. But I don't know, man. You're too tough. Too tough for me. I got confused. Rook f8 was a bad move by me, though. You had bishop takes h6, probably winning a pawn. It wasn't a well-played game by me. By you, it was reasonable. I just don't like queen h4 for white in that line. I don't know what you're doing with that, but whatever. I mean, I'm not going to castle kingside, so you're not going to be able to get me with an attack on the king side. I think we both need to study that line better, Constant Change. Not really sure. I'm kind of new to the bishop f5 Caro-Kann. You got mated in 24 moves. Really? Okay, this looks like an invitation to an exchange sacrifice. The Jolly Joker. I mean, you don't have to ask me twice. I'm chopping here. Smart chopper. That's just like death for black. You need the Jolly Joker on G7. Okay, Miotes. H6 not a constructive move. You're better off just sitting tight and trying to get some kind of counterplay on the other side of the board. I mean, you should be playing like Queen A5, Bishop E6, I don't know what, and B5. It's really not a correct dragon. Queen A5 now. Right, but it's too late for that. Well, it's never too late, right? Rook takes H6. I don't see any reason why not. Of course, it's kind of awkward, you know. Maybe this is a stupid move, actually. Definitely a stupid move. But it's not that bad. It's a little bit weird. It would just be better to just take on F7 check, probably. And then I could consider doing Rook takes H6, the next move. It seems silly to do it this way. But I don't think you should take back. And I think you should do some kind of just taking on G6 here. Because now it's got to be mate. I mean, black has to get mated here. In fact, I have like, well, I almost have Bishop C4 right away. Oh, I have Bishop C4 check. Yuck. I mean, there's no immediate mate. This is nasty for black, huh? Whew. Looks drafty. It's getting drafty in here. I mean, I guess F4 looks like the cleanest. Rook H1 threatens mate in 1, but he can bail out with King F7 and start running away, I suppose. What else? Undermining the G6 pawn. Do we have winter now? It's still winter. I mean, technically. The Ides of March. Nothing like a little Shakespeare reference in the chess stream. Trying to run away. We have culture here. Slaggy's chess channel. It's got to be a mate, right? All right, man. Need to work on the dragon. I think knight d7 is too slow. Let me just check that move. What's up with knight d7? Is that a real variation? It's got to be a move. Just one dude was brave enough to play that. Knight d7. He got hammered by Ullenberger. Yeah, this is not really, you know. He also did h4, but the guy went knight b6. That's actually played against bishop c4, Miots. You know, I mean, your line is actually played against bishop c4 because you're actually hitting that bishop with knight d7, knight b6. But I think against queen d2, it's really questionable. All right, Morales. Let's try d4 this time. This game reflects exactly why the dragon is a debatable opening. Yeah, constant change. I think king b1 is not a bad idea there. You played very safe initially, so I don't have any counterplay. But perhaps my rook d5 was a bad move. You know, it got me into all kinds of problems. I was afraid that was going to happen. I have to find just a simpler solution there, and the position is basically pretty equal. But with rook d5, I got myself tangled up, constant change, and it was an awkward position to play. I had to be very precise. c5 opens my king position. It's kind of risky, so I was playing riskily. That is a word, right? Riskily. We'll have to consult Shakespeare. It is still winter. Morales, where are you? ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde estás, Señor Morales? We'll give him a minute to show up. Okay, but I mean, to be fair, you know, he just committed suicide by playing h6. I mean, you can't afford to make any unnecessary pawn moves with black and the dragon on the king side. It's a word, riskily. What about riskfully? The winter is coming. Alright, dude. Alright, Morales. Morales, we'll see you later. Million miles away in Liberian. If Morales comes back, I'll still accept his challenge. Million miles away. Nose is itchy. Alright. Riskily. A risky or rather perilous manner. I played riskily, playing rook d5 and c5 in the black side of that Caro-Kann against constant change. There are definitely more safe ways of conducting that position. This queen on h4 doesn't seem right. You know, it's not centralized. But he punished me for that awkward display. Alright, million miles away. Let's try, I was going to say a6. Not in this position. I don't like a6 here. Bishop g5 is good. Against pretty much everything. Once Igor Fuigl kicked my ass in one of these things, I did b6 and he played bishop g5. And I was like, oh great. And then knight e4, bishop h4, followed by knight fd2 instead of knight bd2. And it was really nasty. I got crushed. So don't do like b6 or a6 against knight f3. It's just too slow. Let's play e6. See what he's going to do. Something... Ah, yes. The Tory attack. Now what? Now there's two ways to play this that I like. b6 or... Actually, b6, no, I take it back. b6 here. No, h6 followed by maybe b6 is okay. Does that make sense? h6... I like h6. Also c5 is good. Alright, this is a blitz game. I'm acting like it's an 8-3 classical game. Or talking like it's one. Let's play h6. Actually, h6 is a useful move to throw in. He can go into a Trompowsky with bishop takes f6. That's... No, I think bishop h4 is much more common for white than bishop takes f6. It's not really dangerous, the Trompowsky with the knight on f3. Knight c3 is much more dangerous. I think this is a professional move order for black. So how is your Hungarian? No, I'm not fluent. I'm kindergarten level. Even though I was here for a long time, you know, as a chess player, poker player, I mean, I don't really need to converse in Hungarian. Most of the people that I deal with speak English because I'm an international chess player, dealing with a lot of chess players, poker players, or whatever. I mean, sometimes in poker games I have to speak Hungarian because not a lot of the guys speak English. But in chess, it's like almost everyone speaks English. So my Hungarian's still pretty weak. It's not bad though. I understand a lot more than I can speak. Okay, now b6, I guess. Queen b6 actually is a move. After c3. I think Capablanca had a game like this. Queen b6. But b6 is probably safer. I mean, if you really want to err on the side of caution. I think the line with b6 is considered the safest for black, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not certain though. Pretty sure. Right, and now we're basically into a situation that that reminds me a lot of some lines I play with white. And also a line I play against the Trompowsky. I mean, this is a structure that I'm very familiar with in the Trompowsky. Obviously the Tory attack and the Trompowsky are extremely closely related openings. There's always like g5, but it weakens the structure quite a bit. How is Hungary? Everything's still here. Bishop b5 is a strange move by a million miles away. That's your good bishop guarding your white squares. So it seems a bit odd to trade it off in general. I could also play knight a5. No, wait a minute. Yeah, knight takes d4. That loses a piece, right? Don't try to be too fancy here. Million miles away does play fast this game. Knight a5's off center. Doesn't seem right. Like takes. c4, queen a4, a6. What's wrong with that, actually? Well, the problem with this, I guess, c4 line is that at the end of the day, I'm forced to close the center. I don't like closing the center, you know, taking pressure off the middle of the board. I don't know. I'm just gonna start making random moves. Capablanca had a game where I think he went like knight h5 against somebody. Maybe that makes sense here. To do knight h5 and threaten g5. There's no real good way for white to answer that. Oh no, this is what I was afraid of. Like kind of playing for a draw by exchanging with the weird taking back with the c-pawn. Oh man, this is just tedious now. There's no more knight h5. I'm gonna lose on time. Okay, whatever. I don't know what's going on here. It's equal. Very, very boring position. Yeah, don't think too long on that move. Not a lot of options there. There's nothing you can do if they want to take back this way. It's very insipid and symmetrical. Black is fine here, but it's going to be difficult to play for a win. If I had known he was going to do that, I wouldn't exchange on d4. I mean, I'm expecting most people to take back with the e-pawn, and then I would have done knight h5 with the idea of g5. This Capablanca maneuver. Which way to take back here? Maybe I could have taken with a knight, but it leads in with a big knight coming to e5. Equal. These pawns are hard to attack. It's not a weakness if you can't attack it. That's my theory anyway. b5 is interesting. Also debatable, but oh yes, let's get in there. And now he's weakened his queen side, and the white could potentially be worse. Pawn's on the wrong color for his bishop. I really would like to keep my king in the center, but whatever. It would have taken time to play like f6, king f7. This is just more efficient. I mean, I don't know about trying to win a pawn there. I can't risk that. I'm not developed. My rooks are not connected. He would have got me on the back rank with rook c8 mate if I try to take on a3. g3. That's not good. Best case scenario, he gets 2 pawns for a piece, which is certainly not enough. No, he should have played like bishop g3 or something. But he shouldn't have allowed c4 in the first place. A lot of players tend to get nervous when I'm running out of time, so they start to make crazy moves. And this is no exception. He played the opening fine, then kind of went crazy. b4, a3 was bad, and then obviously g3. Systematically putting your pawns on the same color as your bishop is a bad strategy. Now obviously g3 loses a piece. Maybe rook b1 there? Hard to stop that guy. We'll check the opening quickly. I recommend you guys do that after you play a game here. You know, check your opening. See if you, according to the lichess, the online opening explorer, lichess opening explorer, check your games after you play them. You know, take a moment to check to see where the game left opening book. C5's main move, and now B6, as I said, that's the most solid. So this actually turns out to be very rare. Queen B6. We're in very good company. Istrichescu, Belen Lopez, Udasin, and Alexander Ivanov. I don't know why it's not more popular to play Queen B6. So all those guys, I don't really know Bayon Lopez, but I know the other guys. So here, D5, following Vescovi Ivanov. Alexander traded on B3. That's strange for me. I played Knight C6, which seems better. And then E3. We're back into some kind of theory here. Lots of good players. Nepomniachtchi, Ante Saric. Computer saying C4. I thought about it, but I didn't like closing it up. This is a bad move. Bishop B5. But still, what's the best play for black here? C4 again. I wasn't convinced by this, honestly. Like C4, Queen A4, ish, and what? Okay, G5. And what's the big deal? Like, what's to play G4? Wow, that's a bizarre line. So, I don't know. Alright. Let me just see what happened here. C takes D4, C takes D4, Knight A5. Takes. It should be about equal. Yeah. Takes with the A pawn. This is dead equal, I think. The computer says the white is 0.1, not 0.1 better. Okay. Alright, computer. If you say so. Now it's not agreeing. Alright, Liberian, did we get back our challenge from the guy who didn't play? No. We lost the Spanish guy, Morales. Liberian is up. He's fast. Saji, Firefox now has WebAssembly updated to get much faster local analysis on lichess. Thank you. I will do that. Let me make a note. I will make a note. Alright, Liberian, where are you? Liberian, we're losing a lot of opponents here. You guys enter, then you go to the bathroom, never come back. Usually I do simul's on Sundays, guys, but this Sunday I'm going away to Szeged for the day, and I'm not going to be back in time to play the usual simul on Sunday night. So that event is canceled. Our next stream will be Monday morning. Mindful Monday, 15+2. I have to play a team game in the Hungarian First League. And I'm not allowed to lose. That's what I've been told. I can draw or win, but losing is not an option. Oh my god, it's my move. I'm sorry, Liberian. Thank you for letting me know. I'm such an idiot. I'm always black, so I just assumed I was black again. Alright. That's so embarrassing. I said, where is he? White moves first. Alright, very funny, guys. Sorry about that. I wasted 2 minutes of our time. I needed a break anyway. What did we have last time? Oh, Rogozin. Rogozin with Bishop B4? No, Queen's Gambit declined. He plays a pretty solid Queen's Gambit declined. Last time I don't recall what happened. So I'm not allowed to lose my chess game on Sunday. It's awkward playing team games because that's the thing, like, you can't put yourself first. You really have to just think about the team, and so you have to play more cautiously than in a normal individual tournament, which actually is fine because my style is My style is kind of naturally cautious. But not always, though. I mean, sometimes I get very aggressive. It sort of depends on your mood. So c6 here. Alright, I don't want to let Liberian have this massive time advantage that I'm giving people in a lot of games lately. We have to make a decision regarding the structure. Knight e5 is interesting sometimes. Take, take. Could have another symmetrical structure like last time. If he takes there, I'll probably play knight e5. Now we have, maybe knight e5 anyway, but now we have a more dynamic pawn structure. This knight in hanging pawn structures, hanging pawn positions, typically not really well placed. h6. Now Liberian, I'm having like weird deja vu that we've done this already. Is it just my imagination? Could I take on f6 here? Should I even consider it? You know, it is a bad bishop outside the pawn chain. I guess I could go psychopathic and play h4. That'd be better with the rook on h1. Not something to play in a team game. Bishop takes f6. I mean, it seems to be illogical, you know, to trade pieces when you have an attacking position. And that's where this knight is not as well placed as it would be on like c6 probably here. Stonewall attack type situation. Maybe queen f3. Normally in the stonewall attack you see the old like rook f3, rook h3. But my concern here is that I have enough control over e4. With all these guys, I don't want him to play knight e4 effectively. Thus queen f3 instead of rook f3. Wow, Plucro just called it. He said queen f3, queen h3. Just not sure about queen h3 or not. Yes, queen h3 is standard. Nice call, Plucro. But I guess whatever. Now he has bishop c8 though. Oh, that should be... We should be able to deal with that. And there's like g4, g5. The classic stonewall attack. But Liberian is acting like, oh, he plays this every day, you know. That's a pretty bizarre move to play, dude, honestly. You're serious. What? You're like leaving your knight hanging on d7? Okay. That's insane, dude. Using no time, he leaves his knight on d7 hanging. Counterattacking the bishop on h4. Did you actually calculate all that? In 5 seconds? Wow, man. I mean, I would need a little more time to make that kind of calculation. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Darn. Well, I guess we go for strategic advantage here. He's late and rushing. He's sorry for being so fast. Well, I wish I could play that fast, man. You have to teach me sometime. I couldn't come up with that over the board, man. Knight e4. What? I think he's done it to himself now. It's not just terminal. Terminal pin. Someone suggested rook c1, Mule Skinner. It's just that rook c1, I mean, I know that kind of move, and I often do it, but it's just not really in keeping with the more aggressive kingside type of strategy that we're playing this Pillsbury attack. There are ways to play with like rook c1, definitely. Well, everything wins. We're basically winning a piece. He just committed harikiri with c takes d4. Harikiri. Rook takes d4, rook c8, rook fd1. So why c takes d4? Damn, dude, where do you get this knight e4 move from? I can't believe I don't have anything here. According to the engine, I had nothing better than what I did. And now he has to play some kind of very cautious move, queen e8, and black's okay. Slightly worse, but you're totally in a viable position. Weird. Alright, Vincent Hagar, DK, Plukro, Meki. Hopefully we'll get to all these games. Proxy Senate Defense, explain the move. That was crazy fast. Well, I mean, he played knight e4, like hanging his knight on d7 because it was a discovered attack, threatening bishop h4. But I would be like, I don't know, I would want to double check that move for for like 5 minutes. That the computer was looking at knight takes f7. Maybe there was actually some weird tactics with knight takes f7. I only looked at the main line. You know, it's possible I had a second line that might have been interesting, with some kind of sacrifice on f7. But he played it like instantly. I would be terrified, you know, that I'm not miscalculating something. But he said he was in a hurry. He has to go to school or something. So I think that's why he's playing super fast. Ghost Mine played the c3 Sicilian. My nemesis. If you do a chess-based search for me, you'll find that the c3 Sicilian is the bane of my existence. I never solved it. I've tried every variation for black with equally dismal results. Bishop b5, though. Again, we see this good bishop outside the pawn chain. Generally speaking, bishop b5, it's okay. This is interesting. It's kind of like a Rossalimo now. But normally the Rossalimo, you know, c3 is weakening the white squares, so it's debatable. Debatable for him here. What am I supposed to do, though? g6 looks like don't have enough central control. d6, e6, what do you like? Queen c7 is slow looking, but interesting. Well, I guess queen c7, he could play queen e2. Then knight f4 is kind of funkadelic, but usually Ghostmine plays some crazy openings. This is very, very tame for him, and very standard and natural and good looking setup for white. But it's like mixing the Rossalimo and the c3 Sicilian. A bit weird, but it's probably not bad. g6 looks a little bit too luxurious, and queen c7 also looks kind of... Guess I'm supposed to play d6. Not really sure what my idea is here. I mean, d6, e6. This might be a mistake, but I didn't see a really great move for black. I mean, everything looks slow to me. Queen c7, g6, e6. All the moves look slow. This is probably... Actually, you know what? Maybe I should play knight c7 there. That's also slow, but kind of makes some sense. Knight c7. I bet you a lot of strong players would have played that. It didn't occur to me. But now c4 looks like a bad move. So we have to consider knight b4 now as an alternative to knight c7. I don't know. I don't like c4. I think white should just try to outstrip me in development, or maybe take here. c4 just wastes time and changes the structure without any particular benefit to white. Creates more weaknesses in white's position. It doesn't make sense. He's played c3 and c4 in 2 moves. Basically just wasting a tempo. Still, white's position is probably okay because he's white. You know, he can afford to lose a move, but it doesn't make sense. How would white defend as white queen c7, queen e2, knight f4? Yeah, you're right, probably. I mean, he might be able to sacrifice the pawn on g2, though. It could get trapped. If you look at that line for a second. Bishop e5, queen c7, queen e2, knight f4, queen e4. Knight takes g2 check, king f1. And my knight, that's me. My knight is trapped on g2. So I don't know. You know, it just could get trapped. Maybe I have some kind of out there. I don't know. Alright, anyway, back to reality here. Let's get rid of these insane arrows. Well, I'm just taking everything with the pawn up. Ghost Mind doesn't seem to have any compensation. He just insta-moved. I riches up a piece. But anyway, it was an interesting opening. I think that queen c7, queen e2, knight f4, knight takes g2 check, king f1. Don't see how my knight is getting out. Possible I have some weird in-between move. I don't know what. d5. E takes d. I'm losing a piece. I think. This is just a clear piece up. No compensation. Queen c7, d4 isn't enough. Well, I suggested queen e2. But it's possible that after queen c7, d4 is good. Maybe d4 is just as good. It's enough, you know. I don't know if it's the best move. Maybe better than queen e2. Possibly. There's a problem with that, actually, Blue Crow. My plan was c takes d4, c takes d4, queen a5 check. Yeah, maybe it's not good. Because I have queen a5 check, knight c3, knight takes c3. You actually, like, drop a piece, don't you? With d4. Yeah, there's a concrete reason why queen e2 is better. Protecting the bishop on b5. I think that the d4 is no good. That's for sure. Yeah. So he could also exchange on c6, but I don't particularly like that. Here he's just down. I decided not to protect my pawn here. Well, he's gonna have to sacrifice everything. Double attack. Taking the fun out of life. This is up a rook. I need some water. Oh no, the ending, a piece. A rook up ending. Alright. Interesting opening though. Hybrid C3 Sicilian Rossolimo. I'm curious what I should have done. This is very easy. Very, very easy to win with the queens off the board. You saw queen a5, but white can trade on c6. But no, your queen's hanging on d1. I mean, bishop takes c6 is not check because I haven't moved my d-pawn. So I'm not so sure about that. I mean, if you're talking about trading on c6, you're going to have to do that first, you know, which is just bad for white. It probably just leads to a really bad position. No, queen e2 looked like a good move. Queen c7 inherently is slow, so I'm not surprised. Well, yeah, bishop takes c6 at the end, but not at the end. Bishop a6 at the end. Yeah, it's that's the problem with playing, you know, the Rossolimo with c3. Actually, you're inherently weakening the white squares, which doesn't make sense because you're trading off your white squared bishop. There are a few lines where c3 is good in the Rossolimo, but there are lines where you don't actually trade on c6 in most cases. That's when c3 is good. But trading your bishop on c6 in the Rossolimo, normally you want to have a, white squared pawns like c4, d3 kind of stuff. Let me just see what the word is on the opening here. Pretty rare line. Bishop b5. It has a good score in 5 games, whatever that's worth. 5 games. Frank Dischinger played it in 1989. A bunch of random people. Emilia seems to like it. So, a6. I hate that move. a6 is gross. Let's see. g6 was played 4 games. Knight c7. My move is a novelty. Not a novelty. Kovalenko played it in 2014. This guy is a young grandmaster. Kovalenko, quite strong. He's in Canada now, right? If I remember correctly, playing for the Canadian Olympic team. d4, board 2 to Bareyev. Or how was it? Was Hansen playing board 1? I don't remember. Anyway. So the line we gave was queen c7. And they do like d4. Wow, d4 with the pawn sacrifice. That's cool. Castles. C takes d4 castles. Playing a full-on pawn sack. Interesting. Provocative and unclear. No. But my line was queen e2. And I didn't see anything wrong with that. The computer goes full-on maniac, c3 Sicilian, g5. Yeah, that's a classic idea. Maybe better than knight f4. g5 is interesting. Knight f4, queen e4, right? Advantage to white. We have to go back to knight g6. And, it's not a great square for Mr. Knight. Again, white sacking a pawn here, like d4, c takes d4, castles. It looks scary for black. Big initiative in this position for white. All right, let's move on to the next game. Meki, Plukro, Haggard, DK, and Vincent. Kovalenko is a Latvian GM. Okay, then who is the guy that immigrated to Canada, who's playing for the Canadian Olympic team? That has a very similar name. Can somebody fill me in? No, not the guy who went parkouring. There's a couple Kovalenkos. Why am I confusing him with the guy who plays for Canada? What's his name? Not Barayev, man. Everybody knows who Barayev is. There's a board 2 or whatever, man. I think it was Kovalenko. If you check the results of the last Chess Olympics, they had another guy who's immigrated there. It might be that guy. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe he's the same guy but immigrated to Canada or something. Kovalyev. Okay. It's Kovalyev. That's my bad. Okay, so Kovalenko and Kovalyev are different people. Surprisingly. Kovalenko and Kovalyev. Alright, Kovalenko. So he's Latvian, apparently. Young generation. I don't know any of the young Latvian guys. There's another really strong one that I didn't even know existed. Bishop to b5. Lopez. Kovalyev, thank you. Yeah. That explains the confusion. Alright, the Berlin defense is not allowed. I also work for a site called chesslecture.com, and it's a pay subscription chess video site. You guys can check it out. Over there I did a series on avoiding the Berlin defense with these two moves, you know, d3 and queen e2. But a lot of players have covered d3 and done, like Spindler's done analysis on d3, but queen e2 is a move that's like a romantic era move. It was played 100 years ago in a lot of games. But I think it's a little more aggressive than d3, honestly. You know, I kind of like this better than d3. Because if black doesn't react actively, you can get a very good whirl attack, or even a direct transposition to a good line in the whirl. The Berlin defense players don't tend to know how to react, at least the amateur ones, don't know how to react to queen e2. No, so here, we don't want to play d4 because then we'd just be playing like a Steinitz defense with our queen on e2 for no particular reason. I think that c4 has been played. It's kind of an obscure move. Basically, c3 is the idea. And we're going to play whirl style with queen on e2, castles, rook d1. But it's not forced to play castles, rook d1. I mean, there are other setups for white. It may not be appropriate in all positions. Much like the Rossalimo last time. And now again, you know, yes, having played c3, we probably don't want to trade off our white squared bishop. So Kovalenko was the name of the guy who died in parkour. That's another one with the same exact name. Or is that a different guy who died? Meki, bishop g4. Aggressive move, but I don't really like playing on the black side of that Lopez, getting your bishop committed to the short diagonal over here. And you definitely don't want to trade off your white squared bishop. So bishop g4. I think we had a game like this on the stream not too long ago, but it seems a little bit overly ambitious. Oh my god, I just realized we're playing 8-3. Meki, what are you doing? You're challenging me to 8-3. You're supposed to be playing 5-3 today. Blue Crow, did you warn me? Nobody told me I'm playing 8-3. Guys, only 5-3 challenges today. Haggard DK needs to re-challenge to a normal time control. Meki. He doesn't know better. This is only his third game. We're only playing 5-3 today. So I'm going to have to move faster. Alright. Play quietly here with d3. Or do we try to castle and play like rook d1 and real aggressive like... If I castle, he could go psycho with g5. Borrowing an idea from the computer, my last game. Alright, we'll just play quietly with d3. Kind of like a Joko piano. Steinitz would like this. It's okay, Plucro. You're still in training. Last week, Plucro and I let a rated challenge slide through. I lost like 30 points in one game. I always lose the rated challenges. It's basically automatic. Now I could take. I mean, he's wasting a full tempo on this, and I sort of started to put pawns on the white squares. So it's a matter of taste at this point. Bishop a4. But I'm going to keep him on the board. I like my bishop. It's alright. It's up to you. Taking is okay, I guess. You can play a Nimzo Indian style game here for white. That's basically what it would be. But I would have more flexibility with the pawn, like on d2 probably. Now you can go either bishop b3 or bishop c2, depending on your whim here. Something to be said for both moves. Wow, he insta-played a5. That looks like kind of dubious to me. I was actually expecting knight a5. A5, like giving up the white squares on the queen side, looks extremely dangerous. Bishop g5 is interesting. But I guess first I should play a4. Now this is... every computer engine in the world is screaming a4, a4 right now. Every human for that matter too. And now is the question. Do we go like bishop c4 and try to skewer him with bishop b5, or probably that's a little slow. He can move his knight in that case. Bishop g5 is interesting. Bishop g5. But maybe bishop g5 is all kind of... what? Maybe bishop g5 is just good. Could be good. Developing a piece, controlling the center. And I don't think the bishops are going to be worth a whole lot in this locked position. And the knights could start to be strong. I don't know. There are a lot of ways to play here. You could play like g4 if you wanted to. I'm still not ruling that out. Actually, Steinitz was not afraid to pull the trigger on g4, typically. Rook b8 is a useful move. Getting out of the threats of bishop d5. I could still play bishop d5 here, but it doesn't really have a point anymore. Bishop c4 or knight bd2. Bishop c4. See how his bishop is missing from the queen side? He doesn't have the bishop to protect the queen side white squares. In any case, I'm probably going to need to move that bishop at some point. We could also play knight bd2 first, as you wish. DKaos changed his challenge to 5-3. He must be Haggard DK. Mastermind 14. Guys, we have half an hour left. That means probably 3 more games. So I don't know. We'll see. We can get to that challenge or not. Meki kind of slowed us down. He's on punishment now. Okay, no, this is a different guy than W. Rex. There was another Russian grandmaster who died parkouring. I didn't think it was Kovalenko. There was a very talented young guy. I don't remember the name. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Kovalenko. It was a different guy. We're getting them mixed up. Knight a7. We like to see that. That's what we like to see here on the stream. Very poorly placed knights. I never had a knight on a7 I liked. Once I did it against Rafael Latau, and I didn't live very long in that game. It was black side of a Queen's Gambit accepted, and somehow I put my knight on a7 in the opening. Don't ever put your knight on a7 in the opening. Trust me on this. If your knight is on a7 before move 15, you're probably in bad shape. Unless your name is Richard Rapport. Then maybe you can get away with it, but not a good idea. So we just chop him on f6 and go like knight b3 and try to eat a pawn. I don't know, man. We have very good white square control. Black's holding on here. Thing is, in the structure, what is he going to do? Something awkward. I also have queen e3 here, I just realized. Wow, that's kind of a cool move. Then he has to play c5, which is kind of annoying. Now I need my queen on... I need my knight on e3. So mechy. Bishop e3 is another idea. But I mean, what's my bishop going to do ultimately there? You know? This guy is pretty cagey. Knight a7. 1800. That's pretty deep, actually. Knight a7. Darn. I'm looking for tactics like knight takes e5 or something. Doesn't work. I don't know. I'm going to get rid of this guy. I don't want to trade for his dark squared bishop. This actually looks pretty lame for white. But it's very solid. He now has more time than me. Playing masterfully here with black, really. I criticize knight a7, but it looks kind of brilliant in retrospect. Because of the closed nature of the position, he has the time to play that move. It can rejoin the game by a c8 and all kinds of ways. It's pretty brilliant, actually. I think it's an exceptional position where it's so close he has the time to get away with that. White is only like marginally better here. Pretty boring position, actually. Queen d7. Oh. This is a pretty neutral move, actually. I want to control the center. Not sure what he's up to exactly. You know, obviously I could play knight g3. But with e3, I have more influence on d5, which I think is very important here. I mean, he could play c6, d5. I would be in trouble if he gets in d5. He would basically refute my entire position, you know. So it's often a tough decision where to put the knight in these kind of structures. But I think here it's just way too important. Yeah, there's c6 as we anticipated. Now we have stuff like g4, g5, maybe g4, h4. But never forget that pawns cannot move backward. He's really, really solid. It is going to be kind of awkward to get out of this pin, though. How will I get out of the pin if I castle into it? So we're stuck in a strange situation here. Man, what a resourceful player. Second message I've got. That's weird. Somebody's really, really desperate to make sure I'm going to play poker tonight. Maybe they don't have enough players. Bishop g6, h4. We're just going to randomly take space now. My problem is my king. You know, it's not really clear where it should go. Yes, best move, h5. Black is rock solid here. Playing like a Najdorf. Look how sophisticated his defense is. Like, definitely master strength defense. Bishop d8. That's excellent for black. Excellent play. Really, really amazing. Knight a7, bishop d8. Not too many people can defend like that. You deserve credit. Knight d2 now. I'm a little worried about this position, to be honest. I'm down to 34 seconds. He's faster than me. And my king has no safe haven. Why am I doing knight d2? Well, we have several maneuvers, like knight here, knight g3. Looks interesting. Also queen f3. But I mean, knight a7, bishop d8, man. Rook b8, all these great defensive ideas for Meki. That's pretty sophisticated defense, dude. If he's 1800, he must be weak tactically, because positionally he understands what he's doing. Normally you can kind of tell if you play a new opponent and their defensive skills or their positional play is good and they're 1800, they have to be weak tactically, because if they weren't, they would be like 22, you know. Rook b2. Wow. Rook b2 could be trouble. And I'm losing on time. I don't feel comfortable castling kingside. $1,800. Sorry guys, I wasn't supposed to play an A+3 game. Meki wasn't supposed to challenge at this time control, and this is just way too long. He's playing master level chess here. Bishop e6. Hopefully I can hold the line and not be worse. My king is stuck on e2. This game is just taking way too long. The recirculating knight. Now maybe we have the advantage again. Still, he's remaining solid. Very hard to break him down. Wow. Damn, dude. There's a check. That's what I'm talking about. Tactical weakness for a very, very strong positional player. That's what I'm looking for, basically. Extremely fast, too. Alright, Mickey, that was a hell of a positional game. Let's get back to this 5+3 challenges. Haven't played the English today. Mid, king, king, mid. Could you trap his rook with bishop e3? Maybe. I don't know, but I didn't have too much time. I was running out of time to calculate like complicated variations. You looked at my 4 Knights English video. No way I'm playing that anymore. Oh, okay, you had a bad game in that line. I remember Flucro, but it's perfectly okay for black. Alright. King's Indian. Probably King's Indian after e4. We probably have time for like 2 more games. I didn't know you played the King's Indian, Flucro. Do you normally play King's Indian? I didn't recall that. Bishop e2 is just a move order finesse. You can play the Averbach. I don't play it, but it's a good line for white. Now he's played bishop g4. The last time I played this for white was against Walter Whitman, the Austrian IM. He's a very good theoretician, but he's not really strong tactically anymore. But he drew me with this line some years ago. He doesn't play the King's Indian either. You said you didn't play the Mora Gambit, and you beat me brilliantly in 17 moves. Against Whitman, I went into some kind of main line. Whitman played, what was it, like knight fd7? I guess knight fd7. My game with Whitman must have been knight fd7, knight g1, bishop takes e2, knight takes e2, c5, castles, knight c6, with some kind of small advantage for white in a Marazzi type of structure. That was probably like 7 years ago, before I retired from tournament play for the last 5 years. Basically between 2010 and 2015, I hardly played at all. A handful of tournaments. I won a New England Open, which is like a 6-round Swiss system, and a handful of team games. But I came back last year a little bit. We're starting to play more. So next month I have a GM tournament here in Budapest. First Saturday. I made a mistake though. There is a really good open tournament starting in a few weeks here in Budapest, and I scheduled myself to play in this first Saturday GM tournament when I should have been playing in the open tournament. Now Plucro is transposing to a different variation with knight a6. Not the most common move here. I should have played in this. There's a really good open called the Budapest Spring Festival. Normally the tournament sucks, but this year they got a lot of money from the government. I don't know how. And so the tournament has a really good prize fund. Since it typically sucks every year, I didn't really plan on playing in it. But I recently came to find out that for the first time in like history, the Hungarian Spring Festival tournament is actually going to be like a legitimate big open with lots of strong players, and I scheduled myself to play in a round-robin tournament instead. It was a really dumb idea. Blue Crow, so c5. This is a strange line. We can go into Benoni, obviously, with d5. I mean, I guess that's the default approach here. It's a typical Benoni type of position. I don't really know if I have a waiting move here. I mean, rook e1. This looks kind of lame, honestly. Bishop takes f3. Let's do my best impression of Grandmaster Ivan Farago. Likes this kind of Benoni's. I never really like these Benoni's where they chop on f3 and get some counterplay, but white's better. Objectively, white's better here. I mean, no matter what anybody says. But white needs experience in this kind of structure. I guess a4 is going to be essential at some point. But white has to play a kind of game of restriction. It's a little bit like playing the white side of the Marazzi. You're not going to really attack black directly. You're just trying to play for space and the two bishops and slowly kind of suffocate black. No exciting attacks or dramatic sacrifices. Knight g1 is a funny line, trying to get a good same-ish. It's not even that great, honestly. I mean, I felt like when I was playing with Whitman, Gary Hertz, that line, objectively, yeah, it's not even that great of a same-ish. It seems like it's trading pieces. Black has a pretty good Marazzi. I was unable to beat even Whitman there. But f5 from Plucro, it's a very risky move. I think he's taking his life in his hands by doing this. No, he can try to do, I guess, f4, right? So I can't really allow f4. f4 is standard. Again, we're into Ivan Farago land here. f4. I could also play f3, but typically what happens is like white will do eventually like h3 and g4 after making sure my king is safe. I don't know what rook f6 is about. This looks like a very artificial move. The river guarding rook along the third rank here is always useful. Basically we play like king h1 or h3, king h2 maybe. Rook f6 is interesting though. Pretty sophisticated move. It's quite a sophisticated move. Plucro's beat me 2 out of the last 3 games. Seems like his time is like not going or something. Rook h6. That is a very interesting maneuver. But the f5 pawn looks kind of difficult to protect. Oh, he's discouraging me from playing like h3, king h2. This is weird. Point and click, right? Having a lot of deja vu lately. What? How can you do that? Oh, that's pretty radical, man. e6. Wow. Okay. Queen h4 instant move. Cro's getting stronger and stronger by the minute. Let me guess, like rook e8 or something? That'll be the next tactic. Now he takes e6, dropping f5. I don't really see a refutation. Alright, fortunately, I mean, it seems like he's kind of lost his mind. The white squares are obviously a disaster. I mean, from the moment you play f5 and now knight d5, he sees that. He saw that move. Damn, dude. "17 seconds. Well, I can't afford to give up my white squared bishop under any circumstances. I don't think I should unprotect my rook. Wait a minute here. Alright, first of all, third of all, the point is he's pinned. You know, his bishop is pinned. Okay. Can you move any faster, Plukro? Oh, you had that move, of course. Saw it in advance. What? Damn, dude. Pretty strong. Alright, guys, last game for today. Mastermind. Sorry I can't play more, guys. We have video to record. For the YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Before I start my last game, I am black, so it's definitely his move first. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. We'll be back on Monday. There's no simul this week on Sundays because I'll be traveling. I want to say thank you to everybody who's donated via PayPal to support my YouTube channel and the Twitch stream. We had a donation from Scott recently, which was very generous. And again, if you guys can donate just like $5 a year, that's doing a lot to help us keep the stream and YouTube channel going. We can devote time to this project. Otherwise, I couldn't do it. Much appreciated. So, other notes, just Monday we'll be back, 15+2, Mindful Monday long classical stream. So I'll see you guys then. This is our last game for today. We're going to play the Sicilian because I've played several Caro-Cans today. Yeah, Plukro, I think f5 is very risky inherently in that kind of structure. I've tried to do that a lot in the Accelerated Dragon. But the fact that you don't have a white squared bishop is really relevant in that kind of position. You had some tricks, but you're kind of playing against the grain, you know, of the position. Mastermind 14. I don't remember what he plays. If we've had these closed Sicilians before. I guess I sort of put it out of my mind. I hate the closed Sicilians so much that I delete it from my memory when I play people in the closed Sicilian. Blue Crow said the bishop was pinned and I was still trying to move it, but e6 was impossible, and b5 also. Well, you can play b5 as maybe a pawn sacrifice and then like regain it later on. I've seen people do that. You can play b5 and then just like long term blockade it and then like slowly surround it with your pieces. That's a typical kind of scenario in those lines. Type of positions anyway. So queen d2, yes. And now I have played queen a5. It's sort of an artificial artificial line. I lost a bad game to somebody with that recently here on the stream. Knight e7, bishop h6. I'm not like real crazy about. h6 I played, I think, a game the other day. Maybe it was against Mastermind. Possible it was this. I have a pawn on h6 and a fianchettoed bishop. Maybe that was that was the game where I played h6. h6 looks really weird. Anyway, it's blitz chess. We need to play quickly. I'm going to play rook b8. Universally useful move with the bishop on g2. Alright, now we need to play knight to d4. I'm a little concerned about this. He might have a trap here with like bishop takes d4, c takes d4, knight b5. And I have a very bad feeling I fell for this before. But we'll check after the game. You know, once he doesn't do that, I think that black's fine. Now, again, you might have it. Like, I don't learn from my own mistakes. It's really sad. I don't know. Maybe he has that again. That's why rook b8 may be a bad move. I'll have to check it. Unfortunately, this is not a real exciting variation for black. And that's why I love the closed Sicilian so much. Because of positions like this. Alright. I love the excitement of this kind of position. It's just like there's so much. I mean, you know, there's just so much going on here. It's hard to control, like my. Oh God, it's like hard to play this really. Last game of the stream. So insipid. Board on fire. Somebody should write a book just about like crushing the c3 Sicilian so that we don't have to face it anymore. You know, it's just really, really annoying. And I guess now we'll revert back to like what, e5. And my rook is badly placed for that. The e5 type of position. We'll lose a full tempo dealing with e5, whatever. Then I'll lose a tempo. What can I do? Maybe I can play. Okay, it's fine with me. I was more concerned about f4. It's a very tense position. The excitement is overwhelming. I was looking for adrenaline. That was the word. I was trying to. I couldn't place it. You know, adrenaline. The level of adrenaline here in this closed Sicilian is so high. I just can't take it anymore. God, it's tough. Very solid position for white. Whew. It just takes the fun out of chess. Really does. This c3 Sicilian is much better. You know, I feel much more happy to see that. This is like really tedious. If I play f5, I open up his bishop. So, what can you do? It's between the rain on the window and the closed Sicilian. It's so tedious. I can't take it anymore. All right, so he's got all of his pawns on the wrong color, and we had a little discussion with Mark Dvoretsky, not directly on the closed Sicilian, but we talked about the closed Sicilian reversed. with Mark, and I'm wondering if I should play h5 here. That's kind of insane, going against the grain. Probably not a good idea. Let's strike where we're supposed to be playing on the queen side. Let's just try to hold the line over here with h6. We're not going to get too ambitious and play on his strong side. Queen f2 now. I don't know what he's up to with that. He's trying to play h4, but his counterplay is too slow. I mean, he doesn't have an attack over here, really. Not with his king there and all stuffed up. His pieces are kind of stuffed up. Now he closes it down. Now that changes things. Maybe now we will take the initiative, or try to take the initiative on the queen side. Oh man, I'm a little concerned about this. How do we do this? Knight d4. Maybe knight d4. Oh, this is insipid. He's just gonna lock it up completely. It's like banging your head on a metal cabinet or something. h4, wow, I didn't think he would pull the trigger on that. I didn't think he would do it in this position. Takes. And then like h5 myself. It's kind of crazy. Alright. I don't really trust it, you know. We've got to try to break through on the queen side. They live for positions like this. I guess I had to take on h4 and really try to do something. What? Okay, that's a serious mistake. I think you should lock in on the king side and just be happy that you can probably close the whole position, because now it's possible that black is better. We're going to get to the file first. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's still a draw, but I think we're getting there first. And there is this weakness on the queen side. So I think he definitely made a mistake. I mean, h5 and just try to close the whole position, it's a draw. Now, I'm of the opinion that black is better. The what? You say what? What you talking about here, Willis? Queen takes a2, and you're losing that pawn. And you don't have an attack. You have to take with the king, and I have two weaknesses, king side and queen side. So probably lost for white now. I mean, rook h1. His attack is too slow. There's no way in. He's starting queen h2, but that's it. That's the end of story. And this pawn just wins. There's no penetration, no weak squares. This bishop just guards all the white squares. He could have some trick, like one trick. But I think it's too slow. I mean, knight d5, obviously. Like going for queen h5 and checks on g6, but I don't imagine that he's entirely safe. I mean, I'm going to have threats with my queen against his king, mating threats. Possible. That's the only chance. And now queen a1 or something like that. I think queen a1 should do it. Maybe queen b1. Not sure it really matters. b1 or a1. Mastermind's pretty fast. Everybody's fast. It's not enough to be fast, you have to be good too. I'm only good, not fast. It's not enough to be good, you have to be fast too. I don't know, guys. The entry point is to sacrifice on f6. But it doesn't work because I can trade queens. Knight takes f6 would work. It would probably be really convoluted. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I can take it and like check h6. But this is lost. Even if I took it, I mean, I might still be winning. Well, we're trading queens and taking it, so it's... It was his only try, though, honestly. Alright, guys, thanks for the games. Thanks to Plucro for being here. Danny383 says, I have a YouTube channel or something in which I can learn. Yeah, that's the YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. I also upload all the streams I play here to the YouTube channel. So most of the videos you'll see are live streams that I played here. But once a week, I also I try to once a week at least add a standalone video to build up the channel. So subscribe and like over there, and we'll see you guys on Monday. No simul this week. Mindful Monday, 15+2, 10 a.m. Central European Time. Again, thanks for those of you who have donated via PayPal. Thanks for all of you guys for watching today, and I'll see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.